You should be able to work on one entire project for 5 seasons and your AI shouldn't forget a thing.
Not a location, not a character, not a costume note from a year ago.
Sounds impossible, right? Good, because that's the bar we've set for Agent 2. And a claim that big needs receipts. So for the next 12 days, we're going to be dropping something new every single day, starting with the most important thing of all. This is 12 days of Agent 2.
And today, we are launching the brain of Agent 2, context and briefs.
Hey, I'm Hridaya, resident filmmaker here, and I make films with Agent 2.
I'm Raj, I'm an engineer, I worked on Agent 2.
Look, when you're making something with AI, the entire film lives in your head. You're trying to figure out the look, the characters, the entire treatment. So you figure out a way to prompt it and you actually get to the first image that you actually like and you think it's time for the second one. But then what you realize is you have to reintroduce the entire concept, re-upload all the images, re-figure out the prompt. It's a complete nightmare.
That's because the model doesn't know anything about your project. The characters, the location, the things that you tried last week and threw out, it does not know that. Every time you put in a prompt, you're basically a stranger to the model. It does not have a memory.
So you're basically saying it was an intelligence problem that we fixed.
Basically.
Okay, let me give you the whole idea in one breath. So there's context, right? Basically, that is the global knowledge of the entire project. So say, for example, in a film's case, it's the film's look, feel, tone, treatment. And then there's briefs, which is basically the smaller bits that you're actually working on. So in a film's case, that would be the scenes. So say, for example, you're thinking about it in terms of a brand. The context becomes the brand colors, the brand guidelines. The briefs become the actual film that you're actually working on that is part of the campaign for the brand. If it's a show, the show's entire look, feel, treatment, tone becomes the context. The episode becomes the brief. And this, if you think about it, kind of is exactly how massive shows on OTTs actually work, right? There's a showrunner who takes care of the entire look and feel and tone and story and narrative of the entire show. And then there are these separate directors that work on each episode. That way, everyone is kind of looking at what they're working on and they only connect with each other for continuity reasons, but there's someone else that's looking at the overarching story, look and feel, the entire arc, say for example.
Yeah, and filmmaking industry figured this out a long time ago. We just borrowed it and it just works.
And I know the first thing you're thinking about is, oh, this unlocks continuity. Yes, it of course does. Your character from scene 1 to scene 400 now looks the same, doesn't need to be re-uploaded, doesn't need to be reintroduced to any of the models. The agent handles all of that. But that's just the flaw. I'm here to show you what else gets unlocked. And here's the craziest part of what we just launched. It starts when you log in, right? You're met with a pop-up where the agent asks you, who am I? And then there's a follow-up question asking you, who are you? And if you could tell me a little bit about yourself.
And most people, they just type in a fun name and move on, which works.
It works, but let me give you the little secret that sort of goes from it works to, oh shit, I'm working with a superhero agent, right? So say when it asks you, who am I? You say creative director, creative producer, give it an actual role, give it an actual job description. And then when it asks you, who are you? You actually tell it, I'm a director or I'm a filmmaker. And now you watch the magic happen.
Because the agent has now embodied that role. When you give a fun name, it works. When you give a role, the agent now is helpful and a collaborator from message 1.
We're calling this expert agents. And we're going to get into it deeper on day 2. Now, here's my favorite part, right? I mean, when I was going on traditional film sets and shooting ad films or TV shows, you generally would have a treatment note with you and you'd have a PPM deck with you. And that already had all the rules about my lighting, my look and feel, my shot breakdown, things that I really wanted in the film and things that I just did not want in the film. All of that baked into like what would effectively be a Bible, right? And now what I don't need to be doing anymore because of what has happened with Agent 2 is that I don't need to figure out a way to translate all that into some weird prompt, but I just need to just upload that deck and it somehow puts it into its context, figures out all the rules and does all that bifurcation for me.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things that we've dropped with Agent 2. You don't need to learn Agent 2's language. We have taught Agent 2 to learn the documents that filmmakers already make. You don't need to learn its language, it has already learned yours.
And that's crazy, right? And say you even have certain loose other elements that were not in this deck and you wanted to upload them, like, I don't know, 40, 50 reference images that you've been collecting for your film. Don't just upload 40 images and pray that it works. Upload them with a set of rules for each image. Like say, for example, one image is just for the way you want the sky to look. One image is just for the way you want the lighting to be. mention that. Say that this is all I want from this image is the lighting. I don't want you to take the way the space looks. So I don't want you to take the set design from here. Be specific with what you want and what you don't want, and just sit back and see how the magic plays out.
And from our side, like that's one of the biggest things that I've observed as a difference between people who get like okayish results versus people who get like scary good results. The scary good results, what people do is they are very specific about what they bring in. They are very intentful and they are specific about what exactly about each reference and each input, what they want out of it.
You remember the thing I said in the start, right? 5 seasons and never forgetting. I wasn't trying to be poetic. Just imagine you're working on a microdrama. You're in episode 30 and there's something you want to recall from episode 1. Maybe the way the room is lit, maybe a costume detail. And now all you need to do is just ask the agent to do it. And it does it.
Yeah, there's no re-uploading, there's no reaching back, there's no digging through old folders and find where is that file I'm looking for. You just ask for it and the agent will work with it like you uploaded it yesterday.
So that's the difference, right? It's not long memory.
No, it just never forgets. You know, the context never left the room.
So that was receipt number 1, guys. And there are 11 more incoming. But I'm thinking that since we kind of told them that the claim is that our context never forgets anything, why don't one of you guys sitting there try to actually break that claim? I'm saying get on to the agent and work it so hard that you can prove to us that it actually forgot something. And if you manage that, we'll give away 5,000 credits to you.
Wait,
Right?
we did not discuss the amount.
Just get on there and break it completely, and we'll give you 5,000 credits. All right. So see you on the next video where we'll be talking about expert agents.
See you there.